Thunder rumbles. The boat tilts. The disciples gasp. Jesus stands, lifts his hand, and says softly, "Peace, be still." The storm hushes like a whisper. It was evening on the Sea of Galilee. The water glowed like melted gold. Jesus had been teaching all day, and the crowd was happy and tired. "Let's cross to the other side," Jesus said kindly. His friends nodded. They loosened the ropes and pushed the boat from shore. Seagulls drifted overhead. The air was warm and sweet. Peter steered. John raised the sail. The boat glided like a quiet swan. Somewhere on the deck, a tiny dove hid near a coil of rope. "Did you spot it already? Tap like if you love brave heroes." The sun slipped lower. A gentle breeze sighed across the water. Everything felt safe. Everything felt calm. But far away, gray clouds began to gather, hiding the bright edges of the sun. The soft, gentle breeze that once carried their laughter turned twisty and cool. The sail flapped louder. The wooden boat began to sway. Splish, splash. Little waves tapped the sides, first playfully, then a little harder. The ripples danced into waves, and the waves began to grow tall and pointy. The disciples looked up. "Probably nothing," said Andrew, though his voice wobbled a little. Peter squinted toward the horizon. I've seen skies like this before," he muttered. John tried to sound brave. "It's okay, we're with Jesus." The wind whooshed louder, tugging at their cloaks. A bucket rolled across the deck with a thump. "Catch it," laughed James, but his laugh sounded a little nervous. "Let's play a game. Can you count how many waves you see before the next scene? Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe even more." The first drops of rain began to fall. Plink, plink, plink. The air smelled like wet earth. Jesus yawned and found a soft cushion at the back of the boat. He smiled at his friends, then lay down and soon drifted into a deep, peaceful sleep, his head resting gently as the boat rocked back and forth. The disciples rowed quietly, trying not to wake him. "We'll be fine," whispered Andrew. But inside, their hearts began to flutter like little birds. What would you do if your boat began to rock? Hold a friend's hand, pray, or take a deep breath. The clouds grew darker. The waves rose like rolling hills. The air turned cold and heavy, and the first rumble of thunder rolled across the sky. Somewhere far off, lightning flickered, just enough to show how wide the sea had become around them. The wind shouted, "Whoosh!" The boat tipped. Splash! Water poured over the sides. The disciples tried to scoop it out, but the waves kept coming. Their hearts pounded like drums. "Jesus!" cried James. "Wake up! We're sinking!" Jesus opened his eyes. He sat up slowly, calm as morning light. He looked at his friends. He looked at the sky. He looked at the waves. Then he stood tall. His robe fluttered in the wind. A second dove shimmered in the clouds above the mast. "Can you see it? Comment, 'I found it.' If you spot the hidden dove." The disciples shouted over the storm, "Don't you care that we're in trouble?" But Jesus' face stayed gentle and kind. Jesus took a step forward. The boat rocked once more. He raised his hand and spoke with a voice that wrapped around the wind. "Peace, be still." And just like that, the wind ran out of breath. The waves lay down flat. The rain tiptoed away. The sea became smooth as glass. The boat floated quietly. Even the birds waited, listening. The disciples blinked in wonder. "Who is this?" whispered John. "Even the wind and the sea obey him." Jesus smiled gently. "Why were you so afraid?" he asked. "Don't you know I'm with you?" His words felt like a warm blanket wrapping around their hearts. Peter dipped his hand into the calm water. "The fish can dance again," he said, giggling. Andrew laughed. "Next time, let's bring extra buckets, just in case." The clouds melted away. The sunset painted the sky pink and gold. The boat drifted slowly toward the far shore. On a nearby hillside, a little lamb grazed beside the water. "That's your third hidden clue. Did you find all three?" Jesus leaned back on the cushion. His eyes were full of love. "Every storm ends," he said softly. "My peace stays with you." The disciples breathed deeply, their fears gone. The world was calm again. The water shimmered like a promise. If this story made you feel calm inside, share it with a friend who could use some peace today. Sometimes life feels like a storm, when we're worried, upset, or things don't go right. But just like the sea listened to Jesus, our hearts can listen too. When we pray, Breathe and trust him. Peace comes quietly, like gentle waves on a still morning. Jesus is always close, always caring, always ready to help us feel safe again. May your heart be calm, your spirit brave, and your days filled with peace and sunshine. Subscribe for a new Bible cartoon every week.